Hello, everybody. Welcome into the PGR Thursday Night Heat Series live from the high banks of Talladega Superspeedway. In the booth tonight, myself, Austin Green, and of course, co-host Matthew Baker. Dawson Wise might be joining us for a little bit later. And man, we are ready to go. Baker, how you feeling tonight?
Feeling good. Ready for this new format we got rolling out with the fuel. I think it's gonna make for some better racing. We got a really hot track, 140 degrees to start off, 88 degrees air temp. Middle of the day, July 4th, we put it at, see how hot we can get this track, and it is scorching right now.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that in just a moment. Looking at your starting grid tonight, it's going to be Zachary Lima on pole with Kevin Freese to his outside in second. Andrew Navarro, Jason Maines in row 2. Steve Karosek starts 5th. Kyler Wynn to his outside in 6th. Alex Hill starts from the 7th position. Nash Bravilla to his outside in 8th. Cody Nagels in 9th with John Mullahan rounding out your top 10.
Zach Range in 11th, Sean Corbett in 12th, Garrett Mays in 13th, Devin Ray in 14th, Logan York in 15th, got David Sheets in 16th, Jaron Miller 17th with Merck for MBG Motorsports in 18th, Josh Bonwell for McCullough Motorsports in 19th, and Michael Triscaro, league owner, in 20th.
Ron Morris Jr. rolls off 21st for McCall Motorsports. Trevor Osronoff, we've seen him win here before. He'll roll off 22nd. Michael Menchaca back in 23rd. Harrison Whitehead 24th. Justin Mills for Hyper Motorsports in 25th. Danny Esserman 26th with Ryan Baste. William Fox in row 14. And Michael Mata and Brandon Broadfoot rounding out your top 30.
In 31st, you got Mike Beard, a new name here I haven't seen before. Brett Myers, Justin Sorrell in 33rd. Mike Davenport, 34th. Sierra Clamper, 35th. William Ransone, 36th. Mark Vondell in 37th. Pete Morales, new name, in 38th. 39th, Chris Parkman, first one not put down on lap. Daniel Eberhardt in 40th.
Going back to 41st, it's John Ward, Dylan Jones in 42nd. Joshua McCall, 43rd. Christopher McCall, 44th. And Ken McCall Jr. rounding out the field in 45th. Quick update on your race info. Well, actually, we don't quite have that updated, so we'll do it manual way as these guys are getting ready to roll down. Here we go for the first time tonight. A lot of money on the line, a lot of drivers. Thursday Night Heat is underway at Talladega. Caution is out. Trying to figure out exactly what it's for. We got a wreck further back. Looks like between Mark Vondell and still trying to get back to this one here. You see him getting back rolling now. There's Mark Vondell in the 59 machine from McCall Motorsports. Not sure exactly what went wrong here, but it looks like Chris Parkman, the other driver involved. Both of those trucks seem to be okay. Oh, there you go. There's the damage. Maybe not so much. Mark Vondell, he's got a pretty good dent on the rear tailgate of his truck, and then looks like Chris Parkman's pretty banged up as well. Let's go take a look at this.
Trevor Osmonorth missed a gear shift. He said he wouldn't shift from 2nd to 3rd. Everyone had a big checkup there.
And that would be the culprit. Here you go. So we don't have much breaking down to do on that part, but taking a look at the wreck itself. Here you go from the TV follow cam. Watch the 8, or excuse me, not the 8, the 99 just in front. I believe that, not the 99. I keep getting these guys a little bit mixed up tonight. We got a couple different paint schemes. Watch up a little, go all the way up here, and even further back. I will get to it eventually. Here we go. Right there, the 99, Justin Sorrell. Keep an eye. Yeah, there you go. Misses it. Sierra checks up. Mark checks up, and then we've seen it before. That checkup, once it gets to a certain point further back, not everybody is going to be able to check up in time, and that's exactly what happened here. But Vondell and Parkman getting the worst of it here. Let's watch Parkman get tagged by the 92 of Ward right into Vondell. He spins. Oh, my goodness. I don't know how Eberhard missed that. Man, that was a good piece of driving right there from the 90 truck to avoid what would have probably been major damage. So we'll take one more look at this one here. So it draws first blood tonight. Ooh, Christopher McCall right at the end there. Not quite able to avoid it. So gets back rolling. Don't think that'll be any early fast fares, but certainly one of those things where we know these guys are antsy, Baker. You get an early caution, it's just going to make them that much more antsy. But I think we're going to be okay to get going here. And let us know about what the race info is looking like here tonight. We know some things are different than what we're used to expecting.
So we got 50 laps, no fast repair, 40 or 35% fuel, I can't remember, 7.5 gallons. So looking at about 12 to 13 laps, 14 laps if you're really pushing it. So we're trying to force a hand and get these guys to, you know, try and race a little cleaner, get us some pit stops and see that pit strategy work out and have a good race.
And I was looking at there. I know I had said in that last caution that wouldn't be a fast pair. Well, I had forgot that, yeah, they don't have the one tonight. So even a little bit of damage could put your night to an end early. I think those guys are going to be okay. Obviously not going to be as fast as if your truck was clean, but I think they should still be able to hang with the pack based off the damage that they got. Payouts tonight, as always, looking really, really good. It's going to be $200 to first, $175 to second, $150 to third, $115 to fourth, with $100 to fifth, and $100 to sixth place. And another good field. Actually, yeah, I think we hit just about the exact number of entries. If not, maybe coming up just a couple short. But good to see everybody tuning in tonight. Looks like John says, hey guys, not going to be in the seat tonight. Family emergency. Just wanted to wish PGR and Wolfpack good luck. Well, we hate to not see you here, John, but hope everything's going okay back home. And when you get back out here, we'll certainly be looking forward to it. Fitz, good to see you in the chat as well. And Cox Motorsports says, have to miss this one tonight. PC died on me tonight. Well, man, hate to see that as well. But I'll tell you what, good to see you out here watching, Tony. And hey, I appreciated that Xfinity Series scheme that we saw on Tuesday Night Thunder. Hopefully we get to see one maybe on a truck here in a little bit. Here we go, back up front. Zachary Lima being scored as your leader. Kevin Freeze in second. Steve Korsak in third. Jason Maines back in fourth. Alex Hill fifth. Kyler Wynn in sixth. Cody Nagels in seventh. Nash Brambilla in eighth. Zach Range ninth. And John Mullahan currently rounding out your top 10. Only 3 laps in. Looks like we'll have to settle for one more lap around. But tell you what, Baker, it feels like it's been a little bit longer. Of course, we had the big event, the Fall Brawl, just a couple weeks ago. And then we had the American 500 over at McCall Motorsports Money Racing. But I feel like the money racing scene is at that point in the year. We see cycles, but we're at one of those high cycles right now, getting a lot of people. And, man, it's about the most competitive field we've had here in a couple weeks.
Yeah, most competitive field, some of the best racing. And, tempers are flaring throughout these past couple of weeks. And hopefully it doesn't come to a head here. But I think we're going to see some clean driving, clean racing. This new update to the truck is really give it a little squiggly on the back end. But I think that the Xfinity car, I think we may have to start testing it out in this series, but the new Talladega setup for the Xfinity cars produced some amazing racing, just like you saw on Tuesday night.
Absolutely. So here we go. Looks like, yep, we are indeed going to get the 1-to-go signal. So we will go back green with 5 of the 50 laps so far completed. And I'm looking here a little bit further down. We saw 2x2, yeah. So as they line up, it will be Korosek and Lima, the 2 Dale Cup teammates, lining up row number 1, it looks like. Actually, I think Steve's going to settle into second. It's Kevin Freeze on the outside of row number 1. Jason Maines on the outside of row number 2. Alex Hill, Cody Nagels, those 2 teammates now. And I'm really not sure where these guys have landed. And Baker, I don't mean to, I don't know if you want to say kick you while you're down here to a degree, but I mean, has there been like a little bit of a split here with NBG? I mean, some of these guys that I thought were on NBG, I couldn't tell you where they're at now. What's it looking like?
Yeah, so Cody decided to part ways, go to back to Dale Cup, which is fine. That's where his old team was at, and I wish him the best. He's great for us this year. Still gonna work with him every now and then, but Merck's over at PGR for Thursday nights, but still runs with us on Tuesdays. And Lee, when he makes it, still on our team. So just one driver really dropping off of us, but we still got Merck and Matt.
There's Alex Hill in 5th, up 2 right now from where he started. Your biggest mover, though, it looks like inside the top 10 at the moment is Steve Korosik and, well, at this point, Garrett Maines, who's up 3 as well from where he started. John Mullahan, see what he can do. Boy, he has been, we keep talking about, he's been on a tear as of recent. We'll see if he can keep it up. Just behind him, keep an eye. We're looking for Jeff Merck tonight, and I said just behind, but Jeff Merck a little bit further behind in 24th. Still looking to break the streak of bad luck. Maybe tonight's his night. We'll have to find out. Here they come off of turn 4, getting ready for the first restart of the night. And again, only 4, going to be 5 laps completed so far, but no laps completed under green. We got an ANSI field, and they're ready to go back. So I know we had the initial first start, but we didn't count that. We'll try it again. Here we go at Talladega Superspeedway. Green flag is back in the air.
Green flag, green flag.
Yellow flag is out for the second time here tonight, so I think maybe we're going to give up on the Crank It Up segment for the first lap, but trying to figure out exactly what went wrong. We saw a little bit of netcode just before the actual wreck ensued. Yellow flag was pretty quickly thrown. Let's see if we can get any sort of view from the spotter stand on exactly where the wreck starts. And oh yeah, there you see it. And oh man, a couple late hits, and that one is that. Can't tell exactly who the first one to go around was. So we're gonna have to break this one down for a little bit. Boy, these guys, when they have wrecked tonight, they have not made it easy to determine the cause of multiple of them. But first one we figured out pretty quickly, and this one looks like Ron Morris Jr. is gonna be one of the guys that gets the worst end of the stick. And so here we go, looking for Ron. Take a look. So it's going to actually start further in front. So we'll go even further to the front here. And if we go to the chopper view for it, where is this netcode at? Right? Ooh. Man, that was a close call. I don't know how they initially saved it to start. So watch Alex Hill. He's doing a lot of pushing here on the back bumper of Steve Karosik. And then Steve and Lima get together from that. They bounce off of each other. They save it. But then Alex goes up, gets into Kevin. Now he comes back down, and through all that to check it up, Jason Maines gets turned around by Kyler Wynn. And then now it's on from here. I believe that might have been Devin Ray that is able to hold on to it. And then you see the 60 piling in with nowhere to go. Go down trackside for this one. And watch, you just see the track, the inside at least get blocked up. So anybody that went inside just had nowhere to go. Ron Morris Jr. piles in to Jason Maines, but besides that, all in all, really not too bad. Not from what it looked like. It was certainly going to be off the get-go. And Baker, I mean, that one just, again, a lot of aggression right off the get-go. But we said that was probably going to happen here after that delayed restart to a degree. And that was really hard pushing that I feel like sparked that. And then, as you noted, a little bit of netcode between Karosik and his teammate Lima. Jason Maines gets turned around and all the checking up. And there you go, our second caution of the night here on just the second lap of Green Flag Racing. Here's another look at it from TV1. Jason Maines, man, Ron Morris Jr. like a deer in the headlights right there. It's so hard as a driver to get checked up once you get straight and you know that you... I don't even know how to describe it. Baker, we've had it before. You just kind of freeze up. You lock the brakes, and when you do that, you're not going to stop as quick. And if you need to steer out of the way, you just can't seem to get yourself to do it. But here's the view on board from Ron Morris Jr. He sees it, trying to decide which way to go. And you see him actually turn left. But fortunately, when he locked up the brake, there's just no way it was going to go.
There's a lot of lockups there. It just I don't know if this is this new update or this new package that they have, but it seems like the left side of the splitter is really in the ground. So whenever you press on those brakes hard, the front just drags on that splitter, and it gets a huge lockup in the brakes.
And all in all, that wreck still not nearly as bad as what it looked like it was initially going to collect, but again, under caution. Boy, it feels like we have been under caution for just about the first fifth of this race. We'll roll at least one more, and then we should be going back green. Again, if you're just tuning in, appreciate you being here. Hoping that Dawson Wise is going to come hang out with us here for a little bit after he finishes his OP broadcast that he's in right now. And they talked about incredible save, and boy, was it ever. Here we go. Let's actually go right on board with Steve Karosik for this one. Actually, we may have needed to go just behind him for one of the saves that we had, but I still couldn't tell exactly who this was. This might have been Cody. Yeah, it was Cody. He's running a different scheme tonight. That's what caught me off guard. Watch the save here for Cody Nagels, just behind Alex Hill. Gets turned. Oh my goodness, that is a wicked save. I did not even realize how much wheel input he had to put into that to keep it straight. Oh my goodness. A save from Cody Nagels has kept him up here. That was a phenomenal job. And Fitz says, incredible save. Yeah, you got that right. That was a phenomenal save. Either way, looking like we should, again, get the one to go right here, and it's Zachary Lima leading the way. Kevin Fries in second, Alex Hill in third, Kyler Wynn fourth, Zach Range in fifth, Steve Karosik in sixth, Garrett Maines seventh, John Mullihan eighth, Nash Brambilla in ninth, and Cody Nagels after that save, currently rounding out your top 10. And looking back, again, no fast pairs tonight, as Baker talked about early on, so you look at some of the guys that got damaged from that first wreck. Michael Triscaro right now being scored in 45th. I'm not sure what the issues are for him. Josh Bonwell, good to see him back in Money Racing Type. But we have not heard that name in a while. Ex-teammate for Team 3, may still be a Team 3 driver, but good to see him back out in the field nonetheless tonight. And Mark Vondell, I think he was able to make a return on track. Not sure how bad the damage still is, but I think Ron Morris Jr. was the guy that I was most concerned about from that last wreck. But he's still in 19th. Yeah, he's back rolling, so I think he'll be okay. You see some damage on the left front of that 76 machine, but And no fast players tonight. So far, Baker hasn't seemed to calm the aggression down much.
Yeah, it's just the the net code that happened. I think maybe there's contact between Steve and Lima there. If they come out of the corner, he's punching pretty hard, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like the aggression level's up. It's just two unfortunate incidents back to back, but we'll clean up here and we'll go green.
Yeah, certainly will. So here we go. Talked about it. Lima and Freeze on row one. Freeze back to leading. Well, this guy, he's had a lot of good runs. Anytime we see Kevin out, if he doesn't get turned by somebody else, I almost promise you he is finishing himself inside the top five, or actually I should just say in the money in general. He always finds ways. He likes to start at the front in these races. Exactly what he has done so far and been able to stay at here tonight. Kyler Wynn just behind him. One of the best solo drivers that we get in the field. And Zach Range already with a couple fans in the chat rooting him on. And Zach, one of those guys that doesn't have any teams, but very aggressive, and it pays off. Garrett Maines behind him. Nash Brambilla, those two trapped on the bottom. We'll see how they can get back to the top. David Sheets from McCall Motorsports, he's up inside the top 15 early as well. Taking a little bit of a different strategy, trying to be more aggressive early. See if it pans out, but here we go. 8 laps complete. We are not going to try to crank it up against it. Seems like that's maybe been a little bit of bad luck right now, so we will just watch these guys from green flag and start our normal commentary style. Here we go as they'll roll back into the tribal. Third restart of the night. Second one, rather. Third total start of the night. Zachary Lima, green on him. Here we go back into the restart zone. Green flag back in the air at Talladega. It's going to be a good jump for both lines as Kevin Freeze and Zachary Lima go through the gears. Alex Hill trying to get to the back bumper of Zachary Lima as quick as he can, get that inside line rolling. But the biggest threat, that's going to come from the outside line here down the back straightaway. And Baker, you talked about it, hot track temp. Is that going to affect these guys right off the green? Or does it take a couple laps to get going as it's 140 degrees? My goodness.
Yeah, it's going to really start to affect these trucks once the tires start to wore in. I think it's going to really let the outside and middle lane roll. But you're seeing already a pack separation here. And these field numbers, it's going to be quick pit stops. I mean, 12 laps and you're going to be coming in. So you're going to see these guys trying to get to the bottom as fast as they can.
And so that'll put us right around lap 20, give or take a lap. We'll see what different strategies we get. And yeah, I mean, if you figure at this point you could probably go and try a little bit of strategy, but I do think that we'll see a pretty consistent grouping here of how guys decide to pit. But right now, Zachary Lima looking comfortable up front as he's trying to control lanes a little bit here. Got back in front of Kevin Freeze, and that's going to be important tonight as well. If you want to stay in the front, you're really going to have to manage these lines because temps are going to be through the roof for the lead pushers. Kevin Freeze, though, his lane starting to fade a little bit as he's trying to keep Lima in the front. Now they'll start to surge again. Further back, side-by-side action. We've already had a separation. Second pack. Looks like right now Daniel Eberhardt's in it, but the leader is Christopher McCall. They got a little side-by-side action going on. This must have stemmed from the start. Not sure exactly what happened, but they're trying to track down your leaders again as Lima still stays committed to the top. And now Kevin Freeze has started to push him back to the lead off of turn 4.
Yeah, I think that long line on the inside line on the restart really stacked up the field, and you had some evasive maneuvers back there. They were able to get it all sorted out. But they lost the lead pack there, but they've got Danny Eberhardt and Dylan Jones pushing in the the front 2 spots there, trying to get back to the front. I think they'll make do and get back up there. They just got to get there before these pit stops.
Yeah, and they're going to be coming in a hurry. Already 11 of 50 laps now completed. Zachary Lima back to the bottom in front of Alex Hill in the 77. Surprisingly enough, this second lane really does not have that many trucks in it. You see it's about 6, maybe 7 trucks deep, but this is exactly what Baker had said was going to happen. Everybody knows how quick these pit stops are coming up, and there's so many trucks in the field, you don't want to get sent to the back. You just lose too much time on the pits that if you have any sort of spot in the first half of the field, or maybe I should say an opening to drop down low, you got to take it. But how are we going to see teams pit? Dale Cup's got all their drivers right now within the top 15, make it top 10, as Cody Nagels and Steve Korosek separated by just about a row. Kevin Freeze, though, still pushing on the outside. Going to be interesting to see how these top 5 are able to shuffle down to the bottom.
As you see the bottom line stacked up by a bunch, and you talked about it, not very many people on the outside line, but they're able to hold due. I think everyone is just running hot on temps. No matter what lane you're in, it's going to be really tough to pass. So you're going to have to really manage your temps to get that run on the outside like you see Kevin doing right now.
Unfortunately, we do not have driver cams here tonight, but there you go. Kevin Freese on the outside. Boy, he is always working the wheel, trying to hold it steady as Zachary Lima got back to the bottom. Kyler Wynn still holding second on the outside. Steve Karosik third behind him. John Mullihan, no move. And you know what? I didn't think we'd be saying this, but again, no third lane tonight either so far as a result of those pit stops. And I think we'd be expecting, I would think it'd be 3 from this point all the way to the finish. And man, you drop a lot of guys each pit stop, so if we can make it and successfully complete this first green flag stop, I think what you'll see is maybe we drop about, I don't know, maybe 10 to 15 cars off of this lead pack, and that's how you start to thin the herd, and ultimately that's how you start to see strategy play out. But here we go. Baker, Jeff Merck, he's trying to get that third lane rolling. He's got a little bit of help, but how far is it going to go?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to go too far. I thought the 3 wide was going to happen, but you saw Steve cycle back to Cody. That way they can be hooked up by 2 to try and maybe try that third lane. But the thing is I mean, these pit stops will be coming up in the next 7 laps. I know it's a lot of racing still left, but they know that they can't really swap as much because they are in one lead pack. There is a second pack here. Does that change the mindset for these guys to take it a little bit easy? Try and get to the pit stop and separate yourself.
And we've been keeping an eye on that second pack. Baker doesn't look to me like they've gained much, if any. I think maybe it took them a little too long to get situated, but just the pushing not quite maybe what it needs to be right now. But they got a good leader and good pushers. Dylan Jones leading, Michael Triscaro, Josh Bonwell pushing, Everhart fourth in that line. So you wouldn't think that's the issue. Logan York as well looks like he's rocking a new scheme and a new number here tonight. Behind him, the 3 of Mike Bearden, who you talked about first race out tonight. Good to see him. By the way, quick note on that, we do not have driver cams tonight. Looks like we may have had some sort of issue with it. Nobody was able to join. Either way, back up front. Zachary Lima still on the outside. Alex Hill on the bottom. These two have been dicing it up, switching the lead a couple different times. But just as many people as we see starting to go to the bottom, you keep seeing new guys jumping to the top trying to make something happen. But that outside, you see the big gap, and I think that's a result of Ron Morris Jr. up there. He's got heavy damage on the front from that last wreck he was in, and while he's still able to hang with the draft, I think he needs a push to do so. Michael Mata giving him that push, but still hindering the run for that outside line.
And just hear over the radio counts, and Michael's talking about the damage that he has. He thinks that he's not pushing as hard as he can because of the damage. You see 3 wide up front, though. 2 cars to the outside line trying to make it work. See what they can get. Maybe they can get another truck up there and see how much momentum they can go.
Yeah, and trying to make anything work now. And, we've seen a strategy similar before with, I always say Daniel Eberhard, Dylan Jones were famous for it, where, stay back a little bit early in the run, save some fuel, and then when pit stops are coming up and everybody's in a mad scramble to get to the bottom, take you and maybe a couple guys or a couple teammates, go to the top line, go all the way to the front, and then there you go. That's how you make your track position. We've seen it before with guys like Daniel Eberhard and Dylan Jones. We'll see if we see it right here as it looks like now. We're going to get another one to jump to the high side. I believe that's Jeff Merck in the 60. And again, Team PGR driver tonight, so he doesn't quite have the normal guys to work with that he's used to, but he's continuing to try anything to get to the front, and he might pick up a position here as he'll get a couple more takers. They jump to the outside of Ron Morris Jr. I think maybe that's why they did the 3 right. Oh, one off onto the inside, trying to figure out exactly who that was. They're going to save it. That's one of the McCall Motorsports drivers. I think that might have been. That's Devin Ray. He's got a new scheme tonight as well. That was a good save by the 22.
A very impressive save there. Looking at the sky cam right now, watching to see if this second pack has any momentum to even get there. Even with the side drafting the 3 wide, they're still not able to catch up to them. I can't believe it.
And just like that, we are 3 wide at the front on the outside. Here comes Jeff Merck. He has got a good push right now from the 55 of Mike Davenport. Freeze now to the lead in the middle. Kyler Wynn pushing Alex Hill on the bottom. Lima has to settle for second. Zach Range just behind him. And now Kyler Wynn to the top. Here we go, Baker. As pit stops approaching, the racing action has picked up.
We talked about it. Track position so key. As you see this 3 wide action, they are tight to each other's door. And Andrew is reporting he's full throttle. He can't even get to the 3 guys on that third line. That is very concerning that is not able to happen. That's strange for a very hot track tent.
Oh, I kind of thought the opposite. I know you know more about this than me, obviously, Baker, but I thought that if it was a hot track tip, it'd almost be a little tougher to get up there. But now at 141 degrees, just absolutely scorching. I'm surprised that everybody's handled as well as they have today with that hot of a track temp, but high side working. Wow, what a block. Oh, it's not going to work. Alex Hill back up in the wall, and oh boy, it's the big one. And you saw what it stemmed from. We are not going to have some happy drivers after this one. But, man, look at this thing. It's going to collect probably about 4 to 5 of them in total in terms of damage that they may not be able to repair. Kevin Freeze, he gets back rolling, but he's going to lose all his track position. Actually, all in all, again, Jeff Merck involved. Man, somehow everybody pulls away from it without smoke. And that is surprising when you saw what it looked like. Alex Hill, when he went back across the field, you thought that was, well, I should say you knew that one was going to be big, and it certainly looked that way, but damage control looked to be pretty good. So here we go. Kyler Wynn, I almost was kind of slow on the call just because he caught me off guard with it. He got clear, but it was by not much at all. So here you go. Jeff Merck just slightly getting him offset, but this is okay. The push is there. He's given him all the momentum in the world, but well, I'll tell you what, Baker, I think maybe Merck, that little bit of an offset push almost turns Kyler Wynn down that lane, but it works out. He's in front of Kevin. And then, unfortunately, though, when he gets down into Alex Hill, that gets Alex Hill's offset off the track. And then Alex saves it here initially, but he's got to come back up. And unfortunately, it looks like just some contact from Lima to the right rear of the 77 as he was trying to save it, sends him back up the track. And wrecks on from here. Everybody's trying to dodge it. John Mullihan, though, nowhere to go. And somebody's going to try to split the middle. Couldn't tell exactly who that was, but that was heavy contact. Even more heavy contact right there to the front of Jeff Merck as he hits the inside wall as well. Alex Hill makes some more contact with David Sheets. That's how Ryan Bass gets turned around. Man, all in all, definitely not as bad as it could have been, but that's one where I definitely want to hear what does race control have to say about it. Just a little bit of an offset push. Hard racing didn't initially cause it, but I thought Alex Hill had it saved. It looked like he did, but just again, everybody trying to fight for whatever at the end right there. And Lima just not quite able to react in time. It's a hard thing to do, and I don't know how you chalk that one up.
Yeah, just think it's an offset push here, going for it, and he's just trying to help him.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. They're being crazy on race control. Give me 1 second.
Oh, man, and certainly wouldn't want to be in Baker's position right now. He said at the beginning of the broadcast there'd be some heated tempers, and kind of wonder if that's what it is right now. But we just watched the onboard right there from Lima. He checks up. He does everything he can. It's too hard sometimes when you have too much of a speed difference. And, man, Kyler Wynn just could not quite escape that one. But that was a nice piece of driving by Zachary Lima. Not to just miss the first one, but also the second one, as you saw, the 95 with heavy contact. I think he actually got the worst of it. And, again, a lot of different guys, a lot of different schemes. But that was Pete Morales, who I don't know if we've seen in here before, but was doing a good job up to that point, and he's going to get the blunt of this one on the front end. Watch this as they wreck. He's going to try to shoot the gap, sees it. Oh, man, he was so close to getting through. After he makes the initial contact, Jeff Merck slides down. He's got nowhere to go. We'll take one more view of this one here from TV6. And, man, oh, man, couple of wrecks tonight. That one maybe takes out a couple more, but still not even halfway through as we go back live. It is Zach Range being scored as your leader. Zachary Lima in second. Garrett Maines third. Steve Karosek in fourth. And Cody Nagels rounding out your top five. I'll tell you what, we are going to take a quick break as these guys all top off on fuel, maybe take some tires, and we get ready for the one to go and then ultimately to go back to green. Stick with us. Zach Range leading at Talladega. Back live at Talladega Superspeedway, getting ready for another restart here after we wrapped up the last caution. Ooh, got one blinking out back. I think that might be Ransone. Apologize there. It looked like the desktop audio was pretty loud for the break, so again, apologies for that. But nonetheless, here we go. Back into the tri-oval and getting ready to come up on the Geico restart zone. Green flag back in the air at Talladega. 21 of 50 laps complete. And we'll see if we can get a green flag stop on this run right off the get-go. Zach Range gets a phenomenal start. He will pull up in front of Zachary Lima, trying to manage the draft as he gets right back down in front of Garrett Maines. How about the separation, though? Already, everybody completely disorganization just about everywhere. What in the world happened here?
Yeah, it made no sense. The bottom especially. They kind of bailed on the bottom. They only have 2 trucks there right now, but everyone else is spread out super far right now. But, I think we're seeing a new type of racing here with this super hot track temp. Everyone's got to be real careful when they're getting to the back bumper. It seems like the back end's getting really squirrely. You see Zach Lima gets a little offset, and that's Zach Range giving him a push. He's got Steve Korsak to his outside with Cody Nagels pushing him. But both these trucks seem super unstable.
Coming up on the halfway point here in just a few laps. Lima back to lead. He's just talked about Range on his back bumper. The outside, the other 2 Dale Cup teammates, it's Steve Korosek and Cody Nagels, Nashbrent Billa. Him and the rest of Team PGR. A couple guys been having a strong run tonight for them. You saw Jeff Merck until he got involved in that last incident, and now it's him and J.R. Miller in the 78. He's got a good-looking scheme on tonight. Danny Eshelman getting a run off the front bumper of John Ward on the outside a little bit further back. You see the 16 of Michael trying to get back up. Michael Menchaca a little bit further back. That's actually the other Michael. We got a few Michaels. Michael Mata, though, in a 16 on the bottom. That's one of those gaps. And Baker, when you start to get gaps, that's when you start to get runs. And when you start to get runs, that's where we start seeing moves to the front. And that's when the chaos really starts to form.
And that's the thing is, if you have a gap, you know you're going to get the draft. So when you're the second car in line, you don't want to be tucked up, pushing as hard as you can, because you're going to run out of tenths by the time you get to the front. So managing that gap between you and that front car is really going to give you a huge run on the outside if John Ward can do that and keep himself cooled down before he gets to that back bumper.
Yeah, this outside's still struggling to get up here. I mean, you said you heard on the radio Andrew Navarro talking about that he was struggling to get up to the bumper of the trucks in front of him as well, further back. Kyler Wynn, Christopher McCall, a couple of those guys starting to make their way to the front. But another thing that you mentioned during break, Baker, that I thought was kind of interesting is that maybe there's a chance that the hot surface is kind of hurting these guys in terms of trying to break under these cautions as well.
Yeah, it just seems like, you don't have much grip on the track. So what that creates is just lockups galore, because you have low fuel in this. It's going to drop the front end when they're slamming on the brakes. And when they slam on the brakes, it drags on the splitter and all the tires trying to brake, and they just can't get that grip and they can't brake.
And now officially halfway through this 50-lap event, the 761 of William Fox to the inside of Ken McCall Jr. And McCall Motorsports, we saw him at the front early. They've fallen back just a couple now. A couple of their guys have dropped to the back, but all those packs that we saw, all the separation, it's tightened up for the most part here. Looks like we still have a second pack currently being led by Alex Hill, Kevin Freese in there as well. And you still got to wonder just how bad is that damage for Freese and how much is that hurting him here tonight. Ken McCall Jr., though, he is ready to go to the front. You see him on the outside line right now trying to make something work. And as they go to the front, it's going to get harder to do. And the question that I'm wondering here is anybody going to jump out of line? You see that lane coming. Do you make the move or do you stay where you're at for now?
I think if you're 4th or 5th in line on the bottom, you're kind of stuck where you're running, and you're trying to get to the fuel window here. Everyone else on the top trying to get in that track position and trying to get to the front for these pit stops. You see 3 trucks on the outside right now, coming to 4, trying to get them rolling on the outside, and they're not really getting as much momentum as I would hope, but they're coming back a little bit more.
And the 2 of Justin Mills just ditched Ken McCall Jr. That'll send Ken back a little bit until he can get some help, but it did not take long to get that help. Michael Triscaro, series owner, got back to the front after being stuck in the back earlier. Felt like he had a little bit of damage maybe, but wasn't hurting him too bad. Got that caution. Now he's back with the lead pack and trying to go to the front. But you talked about that green flag stop, Baker. What lap are we expecting it?
They took the green with, what, 20 on lap 23, done about a three lap one. They got about 9 laps here, so looking at around 35, and then they'll still have another pit stop that they're going to have to conduct after that. So you're going to see 2 more pit stops at least.
Yeah, and I think technically you're at that point where you can say the window's open right now. They could split it, 12 and 12, but it's just not, you don't want to do that, especially, I'll tell you what, before I say that, let me say this. Pit stops are also going to be really tricky today. Talk about all the issues with braking, lockups. You're going to make sure you're going to have to make sure that you get slowed up here really early off of turn 4, but also hoping that you don't get tagged from a guy behind you. That third lane, though, is still rolling. Not necessarily working yet. Ken McCall Jr., though, still trying to make something happen with Michael Triscaro. You see the 50. We've seen him trying to get to the front all night. Logan York's finally done so, and we know he's got the aggression to get it done. How about Josh Bonwell? Also hopping to the top. Kyler Wynn will join in. All of a sudden, that'll make it 5 trucks up top, and they're starting to roll.
Look at this guy, Cam. Looks like we got another pack that's separated, about 7 trucks led by Alex Hill. 2 trucks behind that with a little more damage, but they seem to be out of the draft. But, it's helped. The last pack that was separated, they missed that carnage that happened with that 3 wide, and it looks like we're about to have that same type of carnage here.
Nashburn Villa back to the outside. He wants to lead as he goes 3 wide on the top. Ken McCall Jr. will push him. Zachary Lima back to the top. That now puts Dale Cup 1, 2, 3 in the middle line. Nashburn Villa. Oh, Reckon big in 3 and 4 out back. Kyler Wynn's involved and more. Oh, man, this one is going to be a junkyard here. Kyler Wynn is destroyed. Christopher McCall even further back. Looks like the 26 has heavy damage. And that's Brett Myers. I believe this might have been one of his first races. The 45 of Sean Corbett is done. David Sheets looks like he's pretty banged up as well. For the first time tonight, we have a wreck where it doesn't look like everybody's going to roll away from it. And this one will end a couple nights. Here we go. You see Eberhard dropping low there, trying to miss it. But let's see how this thing all starts up. To go to the TV follow cam, I saw Kyler Wynn, I believe, as one of the first guys to actually spin out in this wreck. See if we can figure out exactly how the 82 gets looped around. So in front of him, keep an eye on the 26 and the 28. Yeah, that's exactly where it's going to start. Actually, maybe with the 32. That's Michael Menchaca, and then the 28. I wonder, is that Harrison Whitehead? Yeah, it sure enough is. So here we go. Let's go to the chopper view.
Absolutely massive netcode between Harrison and Michael Menchaca.
Absolutely. There you go. You see it. Baker said it perfectly. That was a very, very big netcode. And that nothing you can do, right? That sends the 28 right up the track, the 26 nowhere to go. And then Kyler Wynn gets turned down the track. Christopher McCall hoping to shoot the gap. He's not going to be able to do it. Run straight into him. Kyler Wynn almost gets propelled by Sean Corbett back up into the wall. That was a vicious wreck. And that ultimately is what's going to end a couple nights. That one was brutal, but nothing you can do on that one. That was just tough racing. And to be honest, he wasn't even running that hard. As we talk about sometimes if you get too close, you can cause that netcode. But Michael Menchaca, he really didn't even get too close. He was giving him good room, and that's a really, really tough break here. We'll take a couple more views of this one. Sierra Clamper, let's see, is she going to get through this? I think she does. Yeah, she does. And Daniel Eberhard did a nice job getting through it as well. David Sheets gets tagged at the end. He just didn't really have anywhere else to go. I think Dylan Jones, for the most part, was able to make it through that wreck without too much damage. Take another look here. Actually, let's go on board with Dylan Jones through this one. You'll see the view that he had. Let's see just how bad it was for the 11. Sees him wrecking in front. He's going to dive low, holds it as low as he can, try to miss it. Oh, he gets turned, though, unfortunately, but still able to miss most of it, it looks like. Nicely done by Dylan Jones. If we take a look, actually, we'll go to the fan cam here. They had a decent view of this one. That happened coming out of turn number 4. We've seen a couple tonight, Baker, but that was definitely the big one right there. Hard racing, nothing you can do. What it is going to do, though, is, again, take away potentially, let's see, 21 laps. Yeah, it's going to take away another green flag stop. So now we're at that setup. It seems like we reach this point every week. We're only expecting one more green flag stop if we're going to get it at this point.
And it just looks like another. I really wish that we could get to these green flag stops. It just we don't settle down here, and it's kind of frustrating. But I really want to get to a green flag stop. Hopefully, just one. Just give me one green flag stop, and I'll be happy. Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong. We're all for the great racing. I still keep saying, I know that things have changed damage model-wise, but Baker, I know you remember back to it because you would race in them and stuff, even when I was broadcasting the Jimmy Crow money races. We had an era where we saw, 4 wide, bumper to bumper, some of the
best super speedway racing you would ever see in the trucks. And we'd have it on 10 laps, 20 laps on end, green flag stops, etc. We wouldn't even need green flag stops. They could hold it for 10, 15 laps of a race. And it just seems like things have changed since then. I know there's more netcode, but as you mentioned, the green flag stops, we love them because it throws in strategy play. And I mean, even as a driver, I think I'd want to get to green flag stops because if I'm good at them, that's giving me more of a chance, or a better chance, I should say, at getting in the money if I can drop off some of the rest of the field. So it's going to put us here with 20 laps to go, but I think we'll get the 1 to go signal this time. So take one more lap around, then we'll go back green. Still waiting to see if Dawson Wise will be able to join us in the booth here for a little bit for the last maybe quarter of this race. But anybody that's been tuning in, I guess I should say, appreciate you being here. Been feeling a little bit under the weather today, so I apologize if not quite at the best or maybe what we're used to seeing, but and Baker are having a good time watching these guys go at it here on a Thursday night. And, of course, they'll be back next Thursday for more. Next place we head on Ghost Racing Network is going to be Sunday night for the NSRA Sunday Select Series Championship race. It'll be the last race that I will be able to broadcast for the NSRA Sunday Select Series. So make sure you tune out. Give those guys a good showing. We saw a phenomenal race last season where Cody Nagels stole the championship. I say steal, but man, he had a phenomenal finish there at the end. Baker, you broadcasted that race with me. Those guys are showing great super speedway racing, and I think we're going to get that classic kind of finish. Remember when Cody Nagels made that comeback in overtime? I think we'll see another good finish like that here tonight, but right now the focus has got to be that last green flag pit stop. And what lap are you thinking? I'm thinking maybe, right around 10 to go, split it in half?
Yeah, I think maybe even earlier. I think they're going to go as soon as the window opens. I think maybe 38, coming to 39.
And so, oddly enough, as you bring that up, I feel like tonight, every time that we thought that we're getting close to green flag pit stops, the racing has gotten more aggressive, and we're seeing the more through wide, which, I mean, I know you got to fight for the track position, but you got to wonder if these guys do that same thing here and we get to that green flag stop, it might be a mad scramble to try to get to the bottom. And let me tell you, you do not want to try to pit if you're not on the bottom here at a track like Talladega or Daytona. It's not going to end well. We'll see how it plays out right here. How about up front now? Garrett Maines, you knew he'd find his way up there eventually. Here it is. He will be leading us back to green, up 12 from where he started. Zach Range on the outside. It's been a great night for him so far. Zachary Lima back in third. Steve Karosek in fourth. Andrew Navarro fifth. Cody Nagel sixth. Nash Brambilla sixth. Nash Brambilla in seventh. J.R. Miller eighth. Justin Mills ninth. And Ken McCall Jr. rounding out your top 10. Here we go. Back into the Geico restart zone. Fourth caution wrapped up for the night. Green flag is back in the air. 19 laps to go at Talladega. Garrett Maines off to a good start with the assist from Zachary Lima. Andrew Navarro going to link up as well. This is going to make it tough for the bottom, but just like that, Lima playing it like a perfect game of cards. He made sure that he got Garrett Maines out in front enough so that he could jump up, makes that move. Now he's got a big push from Zach Range, and he'll look for the lead off of turn 2.
3 wide, way further back. They may lose this lead pack if they don't get it sorted out in time. We've seen it on every single restart. These guys in the back really can't get around, and they can't get lined up and organized, and they lose that lead draft. But these guys keeping it organized up front. 2 wide here. You see Lima, he made that great move to the outside. He's getting a good push from Zach Range, but he's got the Dale Cup teammates behind those, so he knows he's trapped in this spot. He's going to have to push Zach.
Yeah, Andrew Navarro and Garrett Maines. Hold on to it. He does, but they're all trying to save it. Big stack up as they go through the trial. Does everybody hold on? It looks like they do. Oh, my goodness. What a save from Lima. Just like that. Navarro will jump up. He wants the lead. Looks like we never skipped a beat. 3 wide. J.R. Miller now on the top. He's got help from Justin Mills and Michael Trascaro. Cody Nagels in the middle of that. Brandon Broadfoot on the bottom. How did Lima save that? Baker, we know the trial is like one of the worst areas to get tagged in a bad spot, and he holds on.
Oh, man, he holds on, but Cody Nagels went to the third lane, range blocked it. Cody dropped back in line. Now you got Dale Cup lined up by 3 in the middle here. Navarro dropped to the bottom in front of Garrett. You're going to see some big pushing here on the middle line coming from this Dale Cup trio.
Zachary, in fact, to the top. Ooh, Eshelman got really loose off of 4. You saw him dive below the apron. He holds on as well. It'll be 17 laps to go, but man, with the racing we're seeing right now, I don't know if we're going to make it to green flag stops. Navarro back to the top. He has tried everything he can to control both lanes. Garrett Maines on the bottom here. We haven't got to see Garrett control lanes too much just yet. Hasn't had the opportunity. Oh, we got one netcode now back. Couldn't tell if it was a wreck or just somebody blinking here. Oh, man, the 32 of Menchaca from that last wreck still destroyed on the pits. I don't think that's what I saw. Something caught my eye. I think it was somebody just blinking out. Yeah, that's what it is. William Ransone. You see him below the apron. He's out of harm's way. So back up front, Navarro still leading Lima, doing a lot of pushing. Talked about the track temp. Baker, these guys, their temps have got to be scorching right now. This is where it comes down to who can manage them the best. Oh, one turned out back. That's the 76 Ron Morris Jr. down to the inside wall. How many get involved in this one here? We got one in the pits. Couldn't tell if Harrison Whitehead. No. That's going to be the 76.
Only 2 trucks there.
Keep it green. We'll take another look at this real quick before they do anything crazy up front. But out back, they went 4 wide and just... Oh, man, they just ran out of space. Ron Morris Jr. and his teammate. Oh, man, that's a tough one from McCall Motorsports. Says collects 2 of their guys. They don't get too much damage, so I think they're okay, but they're going to need a caution to get back up front. Speaking of back up front, still 2x2. Back to 2x2, I should say. Zachary Lima leading the inside. His teammate, Steve Karosek, leads the outside. He's got a good push from Cody Nagels. Navarro and Mainz trapped on the bottom. I'm telling you, Baker, if you're Dale Cup, you have got, well, Navarro and Garrett Mainz in the best position you can right here, trapping 2 of the best guys on the bottom right now. You're going to be coming to 15 laps to go right here. Brandon Broadfoot up top. He's going to drop back down into the draft. Zachary Lima still with a good push off Andrew Navarro. He's not moved up. There's the move. You knew it was coming sooner or later. That will allow Navarro to cool a little bit. Nash Brambilla hanging back. That inside is going to need that 3rd truck to surge as there's the 26 coming back out on track. And with 15 laps to go, the aggression not picking up anymore. It started to mellow out. And Baker, you said you think you got to go in as soon as that window opens, or at least that's the strategy. That's about 3 laps, maybe 2 laps here when we cross the line. Do you think guys have got to start getting down?
Yeah, I think this window's coming soon. In these next couple laps, you see Dale Cup dropping to the bottom one by one. They're going to try and push their way up there. Andrew's not going to have anything of it, though. Neither is Garrett. I think Andrew's going to try and get back up into that second line and try and split these Dale Cup teammates up.
Certainly is, and Lima still controlling lanes right now. No issues yet. Steve Karosek looks like maybe trying to let his teammate Cody Nagels cool down just a little bit. That truck has got to be absolutely on fire under the hood right now. 140-degree track temp. 14 laps to go, and now got a little separation here again of the packs here. Clemford in that second pack, and then this third pack consisting of some of the damaged trucks and some of the guys that lost the draft. Jeff Merck, Kevin Fries, Josh Bonwell leading that one. But still no more talk yet of a third lane since we saw all that disorganization kind of spread everybody out. But how about Ken McCall Jr. on the bottom, 4th in the inside? J.R. Miller just behind him in the 16. You got to give a lot of credit to the 16 tonight, Baker. He stayed up here, and Michael Mata could be looking to cash out here by the end of this race. But as what everybody's going to have to do, you have got to make sure that you hit this pit stop perfect. Any mistakes, it could end your night. You got to stay with this lead draft coming out of the pits.
Absolutely, and you know this pit stop is coming up here in the next couple of laps. I'm looking for maybe Andrew and Garrett to go here with Nash. I don't really see many teammates lined up besides Dale Cup on the top side, so it's going to be a mixed bag of who's getting out here.
And the question becomes, does when Dale Cup, do they pit first? And if they do, does everybody follow? Or do you maybe see a couple guys try a sort of a different strategy? But I'll tell you what, even before we got to pit stops, about the separation for this front pack. It goes all the way back here. Well, Sierra Clampert, she's borderline on being in the draft. I can't tell if she's quite in it. No, looks like she's just out of it about 2.5 seconds. So John Ward, the last man in this lead pack, it's 20 trucks. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, we started tonight with 45 trucks. And that means that we have had quite a few wrecks, and you see it there on your scoring tower on the left. We've had a couple guys that have had to retire from this race due to damage from those wrecks. A couple other guys a lap down, and then the separation of packs, only half the field in contention to win it. And Baker, when you look at the payouts, if you're up in this top 20, you've got a pretty good chance at it.
Got a very good chance at it. You know, we only have 18 cars here, 20 cars here in this lead pack, so you know the pit stop's going to stave off a couple people as they come up here on the slow car.
And that's Jason Maines. He is currently on the inside by himself. Zachary Lima still doing a great job. He looks really comfortable up front. Back to the bottom he goes. And that window, it's open right here. We'll see if we see anybody peel down to take it. I feel like they may not yet. I think you, with this smaller of a pack, I think you got to stay out here a little bit longer. Make sure that you have enough for at least 1, if not 2 overtimes. And I think we'll see the stops. So I'm thinking around 9 or 10 laps to go, Baker. But if you're on the outside, I definitely think it's time to start going down. It doesn't appear that many have tried it. Looks like the 50 is going to jump in just behind the 16 of Michael Mata, the 2 of Justin Mills. Nowhere to go. But outside, Zachary Lima, that's what he's going to do. He's going to jump right back to it. Oh, Karosik! Does he save it? He does. Some contact. He got down into it. Looked like Garrett Maines. After Lima made the move back to the top, he saves it, but he's going to lose all his track position. It was not Navarro that broke up the Dale Cup boys, but they are now broken up.
Well, I bet you the pit stops are coming up here soon now. People are going to try and get in line and get lined up here for this pit stops.
And how did Eberhardt, by pretty much staying on the inside for a decent portion of this run, find him all the way up to second on this inside line, now pushing Garrett Maines? What he doesn't want to happen here is for Navarro and Lima to get clear. Navarro will get clear. Lima does not. He stays on the outside. And he's got a push here from Cody Nagels. Further back, though, Steve Karosik. Again, bad luck for the 27. Falls all the way just about to the back of this lead draft. Was able to find a spot in line, though. And now we are within the final 10 laps of this race. Expecting that pit stop. Still a question of when we're going to get it. This could be the lap right here, Baker.
A lot of people single file right now. Only 3 cars on the top. Look for him to maybe try and pit from this top lane. I don't see how they can go one more lap. If they can, they really were ultra saving. But a lot of those cars on the top side, those 3 cars have been pushing this whole time. So I don't really see how they're going to be able to do that.
Well, it always gets risky coming off of 4, trying to pit from the outside. Here we go. What do we get? No, it looks like we got a couple fake outs in the back, but Baker, they're going to choose to stay out, and it looks like they should be able to go one more, but I think they're going to make this next lap. But here we go. Further back, we had some trouble here. Steve Karosik and William Fox get together. Oh, man, another bad break. That collects Steve Karosik and William Fox. What in the world happened here? Looked like Steve gets a run. He's going to try to go around this, and I think that's a little bit more net code. I couldn't tell if the 761 bumped the apron, but Baker, again, 2 trucks. We stay green, expecting those stops to this lap.
Yeah, I think either going to be this lap or next lap. Sounds like the second pack is going to come down either this time or next time. So I think it's going to be this lap or the next lap.
Well, they have to, especially look at your leaders, Lima. You know, he's got to be about a lap shorter than everybody else. And here we go. Eberhardt's going to peel off. So does Lima. Now the question, can they all get in clean? Oh, my goodness. This ain't going to work, Baker. Oh, one flying it. Oh, my goodness. Wow, somebody came flying in. I could not tell who that was. That is going to collect everybody. Oh, my God. I have never seen something like that. Somebody was coming in there about 100. I don't even have words. I mean, what in the world did we just see?
I mean, no one got slowed down there. That was unbelievable.
Was that the 77 of Alex Hill? Somebody came. I mean, I know you're right, Baker, but we had a couple guys. One guy, especially, that I saw just flying in. Let's play this in slow here and count the mistakes that we see. They fan out 4 and 5 wide. You talked about a hotter track temp. They're not going to slow down as quick. And here you go, Ken McCall Jr., he's already locked up. Yeah, he's just trying everything, running out of room, locked up. He hits the inside wall, gets up into Daniel Eberhardt, who maybe slightly overshot it. You see on the outside Nagels, he's in the grass, he's going to miss it. But then, man, the one that really finishes him off as further back, you see Joshua McCall, he gets in hot, is Alex Hill. I mean, I shouldn't laugh, and if I was in a car, and I certainly wouldn't be laughing, but he came absolutely flying into the pits. I don't know if he ever really let off the gas until he was within about the last 200 yards or so. I mean, you see him locked up, but just no chance. That was almost like something you see out of a movie right there with everybody just flying into each other. As we take another look, actually, I think the best thing to do is ride on board here with Alex Hill. As you see, he actually ramps up the back end of Ken McCall Jr. Here we go. He's going to dive low. He wants to pick up track position. Yeah, he just waits way, way too late, and it's bumpier on the inside. I mean, yeah, just no chance. And I'm going to go ahead and guess. We'll see what Baker has to say. I'm going to guess there's some people in the chat that are probably not too happy with that one, but it's going to bring us under caution and give us a late race restart as we usually end up with here in the PGR Thursday Night Heat Series. And so as we still await word from race control on maybe a little bit more of a breakdown on that one, or at least what the driver saw. There's a view from the fan cam. Boy, they got a good one of it. 78 of J.R. Miller misses it. So again, this will give damage to a couple of the heavy hitters. Again, Ken McCall Jr., Daniel Eberhardt. But what it does do is put us in the fuel window where we are good to go for the rest of the way. So all these guys, once we go back green, you know they're going to be dicing it up. And 7 laps to go. It should be probably 4 or 5 once we get the green. Zachary Lima being scored as your leader. Garrett Maines at second. J.R. Miller third. John Ward up 37 positions from where he started in fourth. Justin Mills fifth. Danny Eshelman sixth. Nash Brambilla seventh. Daniel Eberhardt eighth. John Mullahan in ninth. And Cody Nagels currently rounding out your top 10. We are going to take another quick break. Get ready for the finish. Stick with us. We'll go side by side at Talladega. Back live at Talladega Superspeedway, getting ready for the conclusion of Thursday night heat here at Talladega Superspeedway. 6 laps to go, and we saw the wreck. Looks like Fitz, usually giving us good insight, says go take a look at Zach Range here real quick. So that's exactly what we're going to do right quick. Let's go back to the yellow flag. Well, actually, I'm not sure what that was about, so we'll figure it out here in a little bit, but here we go. This pace car is going to pull off. Talked about it's going to be a 5 lap to go restart. If these guys make it 4 times around to take the white flag, this race will be official. If not, then we will be headed to overtime. Garrett Maines with the lead. Zachary Lima Tiz outside. Lima still looking for his first win in PGR. Can tonight be the night? Green flag is back in the air.
And we got some new players up here. You got J.R. Miller pushing on the inside. Danny Eshelman blinking in the third on that second lane. But you have Justin Mills on the bottom third line. You've got a lot of new trucks up here. John Ward hasn't been up here all night. He's finally up here.
You know that third lane's going to probably be getting going here pretty quick. Eshelman's still blinking. Eberhardt, does he be the one to take it 3 wide, or does he wait for someone else to make the move? There he goes to the outside. Daniel Eberhardt looking for a move. He's going to get some help. Cody Nagels jumped out. Now he quickly jumps back in line, trying to leave the 90, maybe to make a second move. We'll see if it works. Up front, though, still side by side. Garrett on the bottom, Zach up top. Now that outside fades. Cody read it perfectly. Dylan Jones trying to follow the 6 to see if maybe both of them could jump up, but that third lane just not a lot of help right now. Zach Range doing everything he can for Daniel Eberhardt, but they continue to fade as they're going to come to take 4 laps to go.
Oh, big block on that time by Cody Nagels. Danny Eberhardt was having none of it, but he's going to get hung out 4 wide.
And still side by side up front, 3 wide. Cody Nagels Now the man leading that third lane. Almost some contact. Esselman got to be careful. Still a lot of contact. Danny Esselman saves it as he comes back down. Dylan Jones cuts him a break. The third lane is really going to stack up here for a moment. So will the middle. The inside rolling big time as they go down the Alabama gang back straight away. Zach Range doing all he can. Now Garrett going to jump to the middle in front of Zachary Lima. Daniel Eberhard, he'll now jump to the middle. He knows what Cody did earlier. He's going to try to do the same thing. Nothing working yet. The top still rolling. Now they're all side by side for the lead.
Huge run coming from this top lane. Oh, man, he gets a little loose, Cody does, but he's definitely going to get clear here in front of Garrett. He's clear by nose. He's not. Oh, man, right across his nose. Almost gets turned. Zach Range getting a push from Kevin Freeze on this outside line. He's fleeing too. He's getting neck coated up. He's not going to get it, though. This bottom lane is dead. I think Lima and Everhart can make a move here on the bottom and try and undercut Garrett Maines.
And they're going to, oh, gets into Garrett. Oh, another close one. Garrett trying to push Cody. Everybody saves it. These guys are on the edge of control. 3 laps to go. Can we make it to where Garrett to the bottom? Cody thinks about a block. Picks better. Now there's more contact. Lima pushing Cody. Can everybody hold on? Oh, my goodness. Now Garrett starts to fade. Cody going to jump to the bottom. That'll let Lima cool. Zach Range back to looking for the lead up top.
Oh, little offset push. He gets up to the wall. Zach Range turns down. Huge wreck.
Zachary Lima's in it, and this is gonna be the big one. Yellow flag is out. Oh my goodness, count the trucks that aren't in it. It's gonna be a lot easier. They are still wrecking. Oh my goodness. And it looks like that will be an end to the wrecking action in the end of a lot of these guys as night. So close, but we are not gonna make it, and so we will head into overtime. Let's go back and take a look at it. You kind of figured to a degree it had to happen sooner or later. These guys just couldn't do it anymore. There was a lot of aggressive moves being made. So here we go. Watch Zachary Lima and Zach Range. This is where this wreck sparks. Eberhard is pushing the daylights out of Zachary Lima. And, you know, it works in the corner, but you've got to be square. And the push just gets more and more offset. There you go. Eberhard's offset to the left of Lima. That's shoving Lima up the track a little bit. And, yeah, it may have been a little net code involved. That it may not have been so much Eberhard's push because – you know what, before I say, let's make sure we take a look here. Certainly don't want to pin anything on Eberhard here if it wasn't. Because, again, Eberhard's not doing anything wrong. He's got to push. But sometimes these trucks get a little offset, but look how close they're running. I think there was some contact there. I think that's just Zach Range trying to run Lima really tight, and Lima also getting pushed up maybe a little bit here from Daniel Eberhard. They both kind of meet here. I don't know if there's really any net code. If there is, it's just a little bit. And then as a result, they get together. Range gets up the wall. Lima almost saves it. Oh, man, if he could have slid back clear of Kevin Freeze's nose, I think they save it, but it just does not quite work out that way. John Ward not quite able to check up enough as he gets into Kevin, which sends him into Lima, and then the wreck is on from this point. And we talked about this one was big, and, man, look at this. Look at the guys piling into this one. Everybody knows as late as it is, you almost have to try to go, and there's just nowhere to go for a lot of these guys. Then piling in late, a couple of these guys. Oh, the 95. The 2 of Justin Mills. Dylan Jones has destroyed. His night's over. Well, we certainly got the big one tonight. And remember, no fast pair, so this will take out a lot of your heavy hitters. Couldn't tell. Yeah, Eberhard sneaks through. But Lima, I'm thinking he's probably done for the night. Steve Karosik on the bottom. Maybe he gets through. Take a couple more angles of this one. How about we go on cockpit view here for Zachary Lima. Look at the hands. He's trying everything, saves it, but unfortunately there's just nowhere to go right there at the end. The fans had a pretty good view of this one, and we're taking a look at that. Baker, I mean, to me, it's just 2 guys going for it. Eberhard pushing hard. Zach Range trying to stay down, keep the side draft, and just kind of one of those deals. Sounds like Baker may still be tending to his race control duties. So as we go back live and up front, it looks like it's Cody Nagels being scored as your leader. Garrett in second. Daniel Eberhard in third. He's up 37 from where he started. J.R. Miller in fourth. Nash Brambilla back in fifth. Danny Eshelman in sixth. Michael Mata in seventh now. Alex Hill back in eighth. Brandon Broadfoot in ninth. Ron Morris Jr. rounding out your top 10. And we got a lot of trucks out here that now have damage, if not significant, at least a little bit. So if you're still clean at this point, I say you got a pretty good shot at winning this race, and it's only going to be a 2-lap shootout. See, Cody Nagels has a little bit of scuffs and scrapes on the door, the right side door at least, but I think he's okay. So with the 2-lap shootout, should be going back green, I would think, here next time. We talked about payouts earlier, but we go over them here again once Baker gets back for anybody that's just tuning in. And right now, I was trying to see if anybody else would come down to top off. This is where fuel starts to become a little concerning, but I think based off when we got that one caution that put everybody in the window, they were good to go for at least one, and I said potentially 2 overtimes. So they should be good to go at least for this first one. We'll see if we have to go to a second, maybe a third. And again, we only have 3. If we get to the last one, there will be hopefully no more cautions, depending on if the wreck was in the money or outside. But hopefully we don't have to get to that rule, because hopefully we don't get to that point. But if they make it to the white flag, race will be official. If not, rack them up and try it again. And it looks like got a couple more people in the chat. The side draft is ineffective in lobbies like this, just causes crashes, says Fitz. Well, you know, I agree and I disagree, Fitz, in the sense of you do have to side draft. Doesn't really matter what lobby. That's going to be that's what you have to do on the outside to stay even in the corners. Now, I think maybe trying to get as so close as possible. Maybe there's a little bit of room with that, but you know, I think overall that was just one of those guys racing hard for the lead at the front, and it's just kind of been one of those nights. Been a lot of damage here, especially the second half of the race. But how about Sierra Clampert in the back? She's been able to miss most of these wrecks tonight, and she finds herself in 15th. She's up 20 in total from where she started this race at. And again, about 10 positions away here from cracking into the money. We'll see if she can make it happen. She's got some strong runners around her to get back up. And looks like Jeff Merck's back in this pack. But, I mean, I'm just looking at this pack, and I only see what to me looks like probably about half of the field remaining. And there you go. 29th on back in the pit. So, yeah, we've eliminated about 15, 16 of them.
I just can't believe how many people are out of this race so far. I mean, you're looking at half the field right now.
Yeah, it's been one of those nights, but you don't know, fast pairs. That's what you got to do sometimes. You got to make these guys be able to make those business decisions. If they all had a fast pair, they'd all still be out, and we'd be wrecking another 20 times. So it's just kind of one of those things that some guys like it, some guys don't. Ultimately, it in general adds to the realistic factor. You get net code, it doesn't, but in that case, it looked to me like there was contact, and it's one of those things where risk versus reward. It was time to go for it. They went for it, and unfortunately, it didn't work out for a lot of guys. So here we go. Overtime number 1 at Talladega. Who is going to get the win? And they $200 tonight. Back into the Geico restart zone. Green flag back in the air.
Even start top and bottom here. No real support for Garrett on the top line, though. This bottom's going to roll. Danny Navarro's going to give a good shot. You see Navarro jump to the high line, Broadfoot jump to the high line. Only 4 trucks now on the bottom. That's going to get the momentum back. As you see, Cody goes up to block in front of Garrett. They're going to roll Garrett and look for the crossover here to go from that top side to that bottom side. But you see Andrew Navarro stepping out 3 wide.
Well, we've seen the top rolling pretty good. Does Garrett right here maybe take him 3 wide if they can't get clear of the inside? I think maybe he does. Eberhardt hoping everything right now that he can at least stay even with Garrett Maines. He doesn't want both of those trucks dropping down, and he's going to do it into turn 3. All the push on the outside is enough to get Cody clear, and now that'll push Garrett to the lead in the middle. Eshelman, he's in the money as it stands right now. Navarro trying to make something happen on the top. He's got some help from Ron Morris Jr. coming into the tribal. Can they keep it clean? Looks like they do. White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go at Talladega.
I just don't see this 3 wide really working. They're getting a little momentum, though. You see Navarro giving a good push to Sean Hill. He's going to have a little bit of help. He needs more on that third line to get anything to work to try and maybe get to this money spot. But I think it's going to be between Cody. Oh, man, he almost gets turned. Wrecking out back.
Wrecking big out back. Yeah, this is going to collect everyone halfway on back. Meanwhile, up front, the race is still on. Garrett Maines versus Cody Nagels. Garrett with a big push from J.R. Miller for Team PGR. Danny Eshelman up top. He's got a push from Alex Hill. Where did that duel come from? It's a dry race. Some contact. Oh, it's not going to work. Up into the wall goes Cody and Garrett. Everyone trying to save it. Eberhard and Brandon Broadfoot sneak through. Broadfoot looking for his first win. Can he do it? He has to block low. Now he goes high into the travel on the bottom. Alex Hill, one more run. It's not going to be enough. Broadfoot, is he going to get it? Alex Hill steals it at the line. Are you kidding me? They were 4 wide coming across the line. we got to go back and watch this. Before we even celebrate, before we look, we have got to see this one again. Man, Brandon Broadfoot was so close. That would have been his first PGR win. Let's back this all the way up. Here we go. So the chaos here is going to start when Garrett Maines and Cody Nagels get together, but I think this starts maybe from JR. Watch this 78 here. You see Garrett washes down. JR washes down a little bit. And yeah, he causes a little right rear net code on Cody. That sends Cody up into Garrett, and that sends them up. And they're going to get up into the outside wall. This is going to take all of them out of it. But there's Broadfoot right in the middle in front of Alex Hill in the 77. He sneaks through it. Eberhardt on the apron, and here we go. This is where it's on. He's trying to stay up here. He's trying to decide which lane. He goes low. I think he goes low a little bit too early, but he was trying to hold off Alex Hill. Alex, though, able to make a better move on the bottom, and now Alex Hill side drafted for all he's worth. You see that run from the top start coming out of nowhere. And I was trying to figure out why it said Broadfoot finished fourth here. I didn't think that was the case. And no, he finishes clearly second. But it is Alex Hill that gets the win. Not by much, but he got it by enough belt. Oh, wow. Man. That's really, really close. We're going to go frame by frame on this one just to make sure. We've had this before, and there you go. Yeah. Wow, that is really, really close. But, Baker, I do think that Alex Hill squeaks it out. Yeah, he does. But, man, what a finish by less than less than a thousandth of a second.
Oh my gosh, I mean, it is dead even at the stripe. I'm sitting here trying to decipher it, but we are going to go off of what iRacing says anyways. But, I mean, absolutely crazy finish there.
Certainly was. So as we take a look at your finishing results here, celebration is done and over for Alex Hill. He is your winner. Brandon Broadfoot brings home second. A great run for him, but oh so close. And there is the actual official gap, 3/1000ths of a second. Daniel Eberhardt brings home that last podium position in third. Andrew Navarro fourth. Chris Parkman back in fifth with Nash Brambilla sixth. Cody Nagel seventh. J.R. Miller in eighth. John Mullahan ninth. And David Sheets rounding out your top 10.
And in 11th, sorry, let me pull up scoring here real quick. Michael Mata in 11th, Josh Bonswell 12th, Joshua McCullough 13th, 14th, you got Devin Ray and Micah Triscaro 15th, Zachary Lima in 16th, 17th, John Ward, Kenneth McCullough Jr. in 18th, 19th is Justin Mills, and 20th, Kevin Freese.
21st is Danny Eshelman, 22nd, Trevor Osronoff, Zach Range in 23rd with Jeff Merck, 24th, Brett Myers in 25th, Sierra Clampert in 26th, Ron Morris Jr. 27th, Garrett Maines 28th with Jason Maines 29th, and Harrison Whitehead rounding out your top 30.
31st, you got Steve Korosek, was running up front. A lot of the times got shuffled back 4 wide and then had that unfortunate incident. Good run for him, spoiled at the end there. And you got Mark Vondell in 32nd, 33rd, Dylan Jones 34th, Pete Morales, Justin Sorrell in 35th, 36th, Mike Davenport, Logan York in 37th, Ryan Bass 38th, 39th, you got William Fox and William Ransone in 40th.
41st, Mike Beard in 42nd, Michael Menchaca, Kyler Wynn in 43rd, Christopher McCall 44th, Sean Corbett 45th, and Philip Wilkinson rounding out the field. I don't believe he was able to actually make the start. He finishes in 46th. All right, we are going to go get your top 3 for interview. Stick with us to hear from Daniel Eberhardt, Brandon Broadfoot, and Alex Hill when we come back. Back live at Talladega Superspeedway with your top 3. Going to start first with your third place finisher here tonight, Daniel Eberhardt in the 90. Matthew Baker stands by with him.
Hey, Danny, it's Matt and Austin up at the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, we thought bringing the fuel number down and taking away the fast repair was going to take away the calamity, but it amplified it. Talk to me through how you got through that race and were able to pull out a P3 there.
Look, first off, I need to apologize again to Josh Bonwell. I know sorry doesn't fix it, but I just made a mental error there. I was paying attention and everything, saw him and Terresco go side by side, and I was like, well, and I just hit the brakes and just slid right into it. I don't know, but first I'll apologize to him. But yeah, at the end there, I don't know if Neagles got net coated or what happened, but I seen him go up the track, and then I was like, well, I need to just hit the apron here and let him wreck, because you know that most of the time they're going to come back down to the bottom of the racetrack. I don't know what you do to fix the racing. The heavy hitters are at the front of the field the whole race, and they're trying to control it. And I don't know if it's the little guys and, you know, the so-called little guys that are trying to get up through there and pass them. Is that making it worse, or is it because they're controlling? Or I don't know, because we're wrecking for last and we're wrecking for first. So I wish I knew the answers to that, Baker, but you're the admin and the broadcaster, so you see more of it than I do when I'm in the truck.
Yeah, and you know, I think we over amplify it when we're in the truck. Everyone doesn't take a step back and they say what's on their mind while they're inside the truck. But you know, a lot of people like to go back and watch the replay, like we all do, unless you're really frustrated, you just all tough 4 out. But you know, a lot of it has to deal with this net code and just knowing when to pinch and when not to pinch, and when you need to push and when not to push. And I think that's the biggest key is you know how to do that. A lot of the front runners know how to do that, but there's a lot of aggressive front runners up there too that think that it's the last lap every time. And I think that you've adopted the mentality, and so has a couple other drivers, that you're not going to win it on the first lap, you know, as cliche as that sounds. So good on you for staying patient, rebounding after the mistake there with Baumwell and getting that third place. Who would you like to thank?
Thank you guys for putting this on. Thank my wife for letting me race all the time. No, I reiterate one other thing on that. I think I've just come to the conclusion that, you know, and I think it's like me, you, Matt Lee, Andrew Navarro and stuff. I think we've come to the conclusion, if we work together, we're going to be at the front of this thing. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't get where controlling the field even matters anymore. If some of your teammates, because all of us are most likely splitting with somebody, if you got 2 teammates in the money, take your money and go on to the next one and take your money the next time, instead of trying just to bulldoze through and get your whole team in there and make the money. I know there's more money to be had that way, but you take a chance of just taking yourself out of the money.
Right, yeah, and I completely agree with you, and I think that, like you talk about, it's not a pay it forward, but it's more of a, I know that you're going to have my back whenever I'm pushing you to the win. You can push me to the win, and it's all going to come full circle. So thanks for talking to us. Hopefully talk to you next week.
See you, buddy.
All right, next up, we are going to bring in your second place finisher here tonight, and that is Brandon Broadfoot. Brandon, got a copy?
I do.
Oh,
Yes,
man,
sir.
you had me about jumping out of the chair when you came out of 4 with the lead. I thought you had it so close. What more do you think you could have done?
Well, I was just talking to Alex Hill in the post-race room, and he was talking to me that if Eberhardt wouldn't have jumped down and got to my inside, I would have won that. And I was telling him I wasn't even paying attention to him. I didn't even know he was there. I was more paying attention to Alex, bumping and banging with him, trying to, you know, drag him back a little bit. And then he told me that he was down there, and then I saw him right at the checkers. I saw him down on my inside. I was like, crap, I don't know if I got it or if he got it.
Well, man, this has been a long time coming, and we see sometimes when a guy gets that first good finish or that first win, it starts to put him on a hot streak. Do you carry this momentum forward, and if so, how exactly do you carry that momentum forward?
I sure hope so, man. I started way in the back and missed a couple of big wrecks. I escaped 2 of them right dead through the middle. And, you know, try to be patient like I was tonight, and hopefully I can carry that on to the other races.
Well, that was a phenomenal finish tonight. Maybe the start to something that we're going to see consistently here from the 10 machine. Before we let you head out, though, tonight, Brandon, is there anyone you'd like to thank or shut out?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my fiance for letting me do this. I'd like to thank Zach Hartwick for the KMA Designs sponsorship on my truck, and hopefully I can make him proud. And thank you guys for broadcasting, and Michael Chiscaro for putting this bad boy on.
All right, well, thank you for talking to us. Congrats again on that third place finish, and we'll see you next week.
All right, guys, you guys have a good night.
You as well. Now that'll bring us to your winner here tonight, Alex Hill. Alex, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, you get the win in a thriller of a probably turn 4 to the trial. I mean, I didn't think you had it. I didn't think you were going to get the help. All of a sudden, you make the move. Kind of break down from your point of view. Was that planned, or did you have to kind of improvise?
Yeah, I really had to improvise there. During those green-white checkered laps, I knew I was damaged. I had about 3 minutes in total damage from all the previous wrecks, and I got involved in that second to last wreck there and probably had a bit more damage. I really didn't think we were going to go anywhere in that third, so I was just hoping for them to wreck, honestly, and they did. So that's where that luck comes in. But yeah, coming to the line, we bang doors, and somehow we pull it off. I don't know how.
Well, I mean, I got to ask the question. You get the win, so we can ask it now, right? How fast were you going when you tried to make it to pit road? I mean, there was no chance you were going to make it down to pit speed.
Yeah, I was probably, I think Baker told me I was going about 30 over what everyone else around me was doing. But I braked on my usual my usual marker, and it just, it didn't want to stop. So, yeah, that sucks for everyone who was involved. And I apologize for all them, but yeah.
I think that may have been a result of the super hot track temp we saw tonight. Well, either way, before we let you head out and enjoy your winnings, is there anyone you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, thank you to everybody over at Dale Cup, Martin Sports. And thank you to Mike for putting this thing on, and big thanks for you guys for broadcasting.
Well, thank you for talking to us, and we will see you next week. Congrats on the win.
All right, thank you.
All right, and that is just about going to wrap up our coverage here for PGR Thursday Night Heat. I'll tell you what, Baker, it was a little bit messy, but man, the finish did not disappoint. As per usual, we get a less than 100th of a second win.
Yeah, Brandon Brockfoot's so close. I was rooting for him there. I was hoping Eberhardt was going to push him there. Got forced a little bit below the yellow there once he got to his inside. I don't think Brockfoot, like he said in the interview, didn't really know he was there. But nonetheless, great finish, good win for Sean, having that much damage and a good recovery after the mistakes.
Absolutely. All right, that'll wrap it up for me, Austin Green and Matthew Baker tonight here from Talladega Superspeedway. Thank you all so much for coming out. As always, I hope you enjoyed.